Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at Milestone Capital Growth Portfolio.com. Today is Thursday, February 12th. So we've been getting bombarded with questions on how we did it on PCLN. So one of the options trades that we had set up for this week for PCLN was a target of 1082, and the option calls for at 60 cents. We called the exit today at between 17.50 and $20. So from 60 cents to way up there at $20 was pretty amazing. So we're going to take a look at that chart in a little more detail. But first, we're going to take a look at the SPY. So the SPY has been, in this consolidation box for quite some time now, just relaxing, not doing anything up and down. Great trade. I mean, you can't beat the way this is trading. And so right now, here we are again at the top of the box. Okay, it's going to make a decision on very soon here on what it's going to do. The only thing we want to keep an eye on here is just stochastics are getting a little bit higher here, and they could potentially start crossing, and also. You could see relative strength index is getting up at 60. So we could get a situation like this where we get a nice hammer to the upside before we just drop off again and get back inside this box and then make another decision. There are no gaps to be filled on the upside because we haven't gone up here yet, but there are plenty on the downside that need to be filled, especially this one right here at 201, 202 area. So there's one right in here. You can't really see it. So SPY's next move, technically speaking, from what I have seen in the past in the history of movements, we should be dropping back down inside this box. But we'll have to see what's going to happen on that. If you look at the hourly chart, you can see it's definitely overbought right now and needs a break. So let's just get right into PCLN because that made us an ungodly amount of money with many strikes this week. And we do this one quite a bit. So you could see, we do have this upper gap, and I said we want to get this at some point, and it's been coming down beautifully since our high that we called, and it's just been an amazing trader. Okay, these parabolic moves here for this on the options is just fantastic. So, if you're looking at the monthly right now, here we are 12 days into it, and we're still sitting under the middle Bollinger Band, and that's not a good sign under any circumstances. Now, if we recover this Bollinger Band 1142, then that's a whole different ball game. Okay, and you notice the volume isn't overly exciting, but again, we're only 12 days into the month here. So, getting into the weekly, this week's going to be good because it was just a power week to the upside. And our first target, just so you know, was this 100-day moving average on the weekly, okay, because we had the four bottoms here. And for me and everybody else, this is basically just an accumulation pattern going on. And yes, we use all time frames because it's very important to see what's going on all time frames. So, you're going to get this area here. All right. You're going to use this wick here, and the bottom of these candles. I mean, you can go all the way down if you want, but there's really no need because this was our buy because it was a higher candle than this one last week. Okay, so that was your first buy. That was your entry. All right, that was definite. It's a go time. It was definitely a trigger with a nice tight stop down here at that 1000 area, but instead it rose higher. So there was no reason. So you could ride it right up to the 1051 only because this inside this box. Okay, so you have it on every time frame that you have to manage. This red line is that gap that needs to get filled. So with it breaking out of this box, the next stop was going to be managed the 100-day moving average. The next was the 20. Okay, and it did. It hit the 20 and pulled back down again. That's why we called the exit today. We called the exit, and it was $20. They hit $23 at one point, but I don't think any sells went off. But we definitely had time to take all of ours between 17.50 and 20 from 60 cents. So it was, an amazing week, and it's not the only one. There was probably about 10 or 12 of them that netted from 200% up. On different stocks. So bringing this back down into the daily, but you could see here, we just took off like a rocket after Tripp's earnings last night. Massive volume, good stuff. Okay, but if you notice with the volume, it started to trade here, went up here, and then dropped back down again. Okay, so there were definitely sellers in here. Definitely sellers in here. They didn't let this thing just rip up to the upside. It did well. It closed 31%. It was up $40, $31, and it was up $40 at one point. So, you can see here how I have the box drawn, from the weekly, and, you can refine it here. Just pull this out a little bit, and, Get it right back down there. So it's nice and even. Here's your box, and when you break out of the box, you see you have your low here, higher low here, higher low here, and then she just took off. Okay, so she's getting overbought. I tried to target the 1107, didn't get it, but it came close enough for me. I was happy. Everything worked out fine. Now, why did we say puts? All right, let's break it down a little more, because it's definitely looks like it's going up. It's it's in a beautiful pattern to the upside. So why would I call puts on this? Okay, because if you were in live chat, you would be in the puts for the trade with us right now. So right now, here's your pattern to the upside. So for me to say, all right, well, why am I going to get puts? Okay, so let's break it down a little bit more here, because this is how you manage it. You want to make sure you manage it in the proper time frames. Okay, so here's where I said to get puts. Okay, look at your relative strength index was at 78, okay, overbought, and you had a nice little top here on your stochastics, okay, and you could see your volume starting to increase to the sell side, okay. So here's your current trend right now, okay. So at the very least, we should be able to get the 1080, okay, and that's the puts that I said to get, the 1080. Okay, and right now they closed about 100% up, and they were up 220%. So if we can get that, we could probably get about 500% out of it. Okay, so it's all about managing these technical time frames. So is it time to buy calls right now? I would buy calls if this was a reset first, okay? Your relative strength on the hourly needs a break. So if we can come down even midway to 40, I think it's probably a time to get calls. Now, if this doesn't hold, this trend line right here, okay? If this trend line does not hold and it breaks, then we're going to fill this gap right here, all right? So you see the gap right here that took place today? All right, so you have a little gap right here at 1061. Okay, so if this trend line shatters, then we're going to go all the way down there. Okay, and that's right here, the 1080. That's why I took it in that area. So if it does break, I'm going to ride it down further, and I'll work off this middle Bollinger Band at 1070, which is going to be $10 lower. All right, so I'll manage it all the way down, or I'm going to reverse it and get calls to the upside. Okay, but most likely here in this situation, I won't need to get calls. I'll be able to reset the relative strength index. This will probably break, and I will probably get this gap filled at 1061. That's typically how it works, but there's some momentum into this one, so we're going to have to manage it right off of this first. So that's your trade, and that's what we do all day long, okay? We do this all day long, and it's not just PCLN. I mean, you can look at, SNDK. We've did this week. This is about 300% this week. We took off our profit right after this break right here. All right, so we scalped out, 250%. SSYS. There's several others. So what we do is we get right into managing these charts, okay? And by managing these charts, you'll be able to get better entries, better exits, and maximize your profit potential. Okay, so it's very important, if you are not with us, that you join us. And now's your opportunity. I mean, it's $1,000 for a lifetime membership right now, and that ends Sunday. All right, if you joined us this weekend or on Friday last week, you think you would have made it back by now? Yeah, you definitely would have. So we're very technical in the way we play and the strategies. We're very conservative in the sense that we want to make sure we're going to maximize our profit and protect our losses. Okay, so there are certain stops that you need to manage and also to protect that. Now, it's not just options. We do tons of stocks. Our website is full of, the forum is full of amazing long-term, short-term. Our portfolios are all set up beautiful. They're managed every single week. There's so much there. The training videos that we've put up, we're breaking out of those also. So listen, do yourself a favor, join us and have a good time. If not, keep watching the videos, because you're always going to get something off the videos. All right, we'll see everyone tomorrow. If not, have yourself a fantastic night. Actually, I'll talk to you on Sunday night, because it is the weekend coming tomorrow. Have a great night.